The Moody Blues Nights in White Satin. I've heard of this, but I've never heard it before. My mom said that this was her prom song. Sorry, I'm fixing my AirPods. She said that this was her prom song with her high school boyfriend. And I only know the newer Moody Blues stuff, like I know you're out there somewhere, and once upon a time. I've never heard their old stuff. I heard this album was a big deal in 1974 or whatever this is, 19, it's showing me the remastered version, but if it was during her high school, I'm guessing it's like 72 to 74. Um, so yeah, well, the sad thing is that well, again, that was only her high school boyfriend, and she actually married my dad since she was 21 years old. So they were together since college. So it was like only her only other boyfriend besides my dad, basically. Um, but he died. So I heard. I never met him or anything. It was just like stories, like, oh, I had a high school boyfriend, right? And then a few years ago, it's like he died. And I'm thinking that must be so sad as we get older and you start to like lose friends and lose like people from your past who like were part of your life. So that's what I'm going to think about. I'm going to think about prom 1974, prom 1973. Not sure exactly. I think she would have been a senior in 74. Um, so by the way, my name is Erica. I am a trained opera singer, musical theater singer, music aficionado, whatever. Um, I teach voice and piano for a living. I'm also a fitness instructor. I have a very quickly growing social media and YouTube presence. If you'd like to request a reaction video, go to my YouTube page, click on my link tree right here, fill out this request form. If you send money along with it, then it helps me get to it faster because I have a queue that grows and I prioritize the paid requests since most copyright music does not allow me to earn any revenue from YouTube. So if I make these long videos, I don't actually earn any ad money. I only get money if like someone donates or like you give a super thanks. There's also the super thanks within YouTube if you want to just send money that way. If you can't send money, don't worry about it. Just enjoy my channel, be a subscriber. That helps me a lot. So all right. I do something different than other reactors. I don't talk over the music or pause the music. I'm going to type when I have comments. I'm also going to be putting on makeup because I'm getting ready for the day. I've just kind of half blow dried my hair. So, um, and I'm going to put on some makeup. And yeah, we're going to listen to the album Nights in White Satin. Well, that can't be the album. That's 3 hours. I need to go to the original. Let's see. Moody Blues. That's the song I know, The Wildest Dream. Let's go to discography. I'm guessing it's this 1967 album. It's a double disc. I'm never going to get through the double disc. Nights in White Satin. This looks really good. Let's go to their other releases. Let's see. Let's go back to the beginning. This is how I figure out timelines backwards. Here it is. Here it is. 1967 Days of Future Past, deluxe version. Let's start with the actual song, Nights in White Satin, because I don't think I can get through this whole album today. But I'll do Nights in White Satin, and then I'm going to do all the ones with the highest streams. Like, notice how the ones that have like 2 million versus only like 430,000 streams, we're going to go in the order of greatest streamed. As you can see, this has 270 million streams. Here we go.
Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. beauty I'd always missed. With these eyes before, just what the truth is, I can't say anymore. 'Cause I love you. Yes, I love you. Gazing at people, some hand in hand, just what I'm going through, they can understand. Some try to tell me thoughts they cannot defend, just what you want to be, you'll be in the end. And I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, I love nights in white satin, never reaching
Reaching
the
the
end.
end.
Letters
Letters
I've
I've written,
written, never
never
meaning to
meaning to
send.
send.
Beauty
The
I've
I've
always
always
missed.
missed.
With these eyes before, just what the truth is, I can't say anymore. Yes, I love you. Yes, I
I
love
love
you. Yes, I love you. Yes, I
That's literally like tragically beautiful, but kind of sad. Maybe I'm just thinking about like if my high school boyfriend was dead and that was our prom song, like how sad I'd be listening to that every time. But almost like it's foreshadowing in a way. It's like even in though it's so like the words are so positive, like how I love you, but it sounds like it's not going to end well. It's not like I love you and we're going to end up together. It kind of sounds like this nights in white satin. What I mean by the end being held, it's like this. Nights in white satin. See? Never reaching the end. He does that. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. He holds the end on all those. Beauty I've always missed. I don't really know it that well. With these eyes before. I don't know if I've never heard that before. Like I might have heard it in the background of a movie or something. Because it sounds a little more familiar to me than other melodies that, like, I literally had never heard the Grateful Dead. This one, I'm like, I think I've heard this in a movie or something. I just had never thought of singing it, and I don't know the melody well. But, the whole like, ah, that's really nice. Um, wow, it is so crazy. Like, this song is so good. But yeah, it just makes me sad. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Maybe he never told her, like this song, He was gonna write the letter that said I love you, but he didn't. And maybe he died or something. It's like very Vietnam era, Maybe he died in the war, Like it's just I'm thinking of like what the narrator of this song is going through. It's definitely a really sad nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I'd always missed. I'd have always missed with these eyes before. That's what the truth is. I can't say anymore. Whoa, that's very beautiful. And that is a very like deep song for like a prom song, you know? I feel like when I was at prom, we only had like upbeat songs by then. Like our proms for songs were like it's dynamite. Actually, dynamite wasn't out yet, but it was things like it's the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh off the kitchen. Really bad compared to this, okay? I'm just gonna be honest. Like our prom song, my senior year song was like Missy Elliott Work It. Like that was a song that was like viral at the time. We didn't even have the word viral yet, but like we just played it over and over again in like the dressing room for our like school musical. Um, all right, let's hear some of the other big hits from this album. Um, okay, where am I? I wanted to just click on this. There we go. All right, so The Night, 11 million streams, looks like our number two. The disparity between like Nights in White Satin and then like some of these other songs, but The Night does have 11 million. That sounds pretty good.
Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send.
Hold on, let's skip to the part that would probably not be part of the radio version. Okay, so we're gonna get a full flute solo here.
Breathe deep the gathering gloom. Watch lights fade from every room. Bedsitter people look back and lament. Another day's useless energies spent. Impassioned lovers wrestle as one. Lonely man cries for love and has none. New mother picks up and settles her son. Senior citizens wish they were young. Cold-hearted orb that rules the night removes the colors from our sight. Red is grey and yellow white, but we decide which is right and which is an illusion.
Okay, so the night is just like a longer version of Nights in White Satin that's like a whole orchestra suite. But why? Like I see that it says Days of Future Past, London Festival Orchestra. Uh, but why? Like was it that it was live? And they were like, let's do this thing. Or like when they were writing the song, they're like, let's make it orchestral. But this is like not just orchestra like the Beatles, let's add in like a string octet to Eleanor Rigby. This is like, let's make it this grand old like movie soundtrack-esque, huge, epic thing. It's pretty intense. I don't know. I had to process that for a while. One, I'm like practically crying about the concept of like a story I made up in my mind about knights in white satin, some kind of unrequited love that could never be, or like you only have one night together and then it's gonna end and that's it. Like it's a very sad kind of love song, not like a happy, like we're in love, like you happy together. I don't know. I can see the na 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 na. So that's a happy love song. Nights in white satin. Wow. So I guess this whole video today is just gonna be on that song because that's already a lot to work with. Well, I wish my prom song had been that amazing, but it makes me cry and it makes me think about what if my prom date was dead? I'd be sad every time my prom song played. I would cry and cry and cry. And by the way, my mom's gonna watch this video, and my dad's gonna watch this video too. And they're gonna be like, okay, Erica. But no, that's what I think about. I'm like, oh, that's sad. Well, no, they're already starting to lose friends, friends and loved ones, because they're boomers, getting into their later 60s. And that's what happens, right? You start to lose your loved ones. And to me, that's like a really sad thing. And I've lost some friends. I had friends from high school that have passed away, some tragically, some, you know, well, mostly it's tragic when it's young, I feel like. But yeah, I can't imagine. It's so sad. So then every time you hear something from the past that reminds you of one of your like lost friends, it just must be like really, really sad. So I think of that because again, guys, I'm like an empath and I really absorb the meaning of these songs in my body. So even if it's not my own story and it's someone else's love story, I literally like can't separate it from the song. And so then it just makes me think of that and it makes me kind of sad. So yeah. Okay, if I was gonna play one other thing, what is oh, so weird. I don't get how this album's organized. There's like two versions of the night. The disc looks the same. The day begins. I guess it's oh, the day begins, dawn, morning, lunch break, the afternoon, evening, the night, long summer days. So it's like a part of a day. It's a story. Here's the gong coming back in that we got out at the end of the night.
Cold-hearted orb that rules the night removes the colors from our sight. Red is grey and yellow white, but we decide which is right and which is an illusion. Pinprick holes in a colourless sky let insipid figures of light pass by. The mighty light of 10,000 suns challenges infinity and is soon gone. Nighttime to some, a brief interlude, to others the fear of solitude. Brave Helios, Wake up your steeds. Bring the warmth the countryside needs.
Hey, then it's Dawn. Okay, so look, I always have to go back in time and pretend that I was in the time period. So, look, you guys didn't have computers, you didn't have streaming, you didn't have the internet, okay? You guys had albums, you had televisions that you didn't have cable yet. So all you guys had was like broadcast television. There wasn't even like answering machines yet. Like, you had telephones, no answering machines. So at the time, there was no on-demand music. It's like you either had to wait for something to come on TV or you would have had to buy a record, right? Like a vinyl. So yes, I think in the time period, if I was then and I got this album and I had this, I would be like, "Oh my God, you have to hear this. This is the coolest thing I've ever heard." It's like the Moody Blues, but it's an orchestra, like it's a performance, it's like a whole orchestral story, and there's like a narrator. It's kind of like Fantasia. Remember Fantasia, the Disney movie, where it's like narrated, and then it's like Mickey Mouse, and then it's like we animated the Stravinsky Rite of Spring and all that. I feel like this was kind of like an in vogue thing at the time in the 60s. It's like they suddenly had new technology to record a symphony and it was like this big deal and people had records, right? So it's like, oh my God, we can like release this symphonic music. We can record it now so much better. And it was so in vogue. I just think of literally it's freaking Fantasia, right? It's like, wow, the symphony. It was like so, and I think of like the architecture of like Dorothy Chandler Pavilion and like, yeah, again, I was in music school, so we really fanboyed over like a lot of 20th century classical composers, modern classical composers. We just call it 20th century music, basically. But yeah, for a rock album, this would be very like crazy, like whoa, like this is the whole story, and then it's like the day, the morning, kind of like Purgent, Grieg, right? Hall the Mountain King. So there's that theme that comes back in the Knights in White Satin. That's in the beginning. That's common orchestra theme. Um, I like it. So there's that whole thing until the evening, the night, and then I'm guessing these are just songs like Long Summer Days. Yeah, that's kind of sick then. You have your like cool moody blues songs, regular songs, mixed in with a whole album of a whole orchestra street with the London Philharmonic or whatever. I like all their harmonies. That's like super cool. I gotta listen to all these in another video, but little flute. You guys should recommend to me what I should listen to. I know you're gonna be like, listen to it all. I don't know. I don't have all the time in the world, y'all. I like work. I'm a mom of like teenagers, so sometimes they need me. I can't just listen to like all these songs. But I will if you recommend it because I like personal recommendations the best. That's how I've built my channel. You guys told me to listen to the warning. I listened to the warning. Now I have a whole following of warning people. So now I'm listening to the Moody Blues, but like it is an epic song. I mean, of all the things of that year, I can only imagine like this really cool, orchestrated, beautiful album. And like I said, you don't have anything on demand. So you're like, I got this record, you have to come listen to it. Maybe everyone's just like, come make out. Like it's such a make out album, right? Like put it on, smoke pot, make out, like making out with your high school boyfriend kind of album. That's what I imagine. It was like so like sexy at the time. Now to me it's novel from our perspective, like from like growing up with CDs and then of course I got the internet. For me, it's when we had illegal downloading of MP3s when I was in high school. But I was in high school, we were downloading like from Napster, like things. And then by the time I was in college, people were using on iTunes, whatever. So like I'm in the generation of like I had CDs, but they were really easy to get by then because CDs were just like very accessible compared to vinyls, I feel like, because they were mass produced and music became more like everywhere. Radio, cassette, CD, whatever. And then we got the internet, and then things just really got over. And then by the time I was in college, or at the end of college, YouTube started coming out, but it wasn't yet like it is today. It wasn't like you could like put music up there yet. Um, so it's just a very different time. Just imagine, like I said, to put myself back in the shoes of someone in the olden times before the internet, when like you just had a record player and you buy a vinyl from the store and like let's listen to this over and over and over and over again. It's beautiful. I mean, I absolutely like it. Okay, like don't get me wrong. I just think I like it better when I put myself in the time period. I like imagine I'm transported. If anything, listening to this album transports me back to feeling like I'm my mom's age and my dad's age when they were young. And that that's actually really quite touching. Last week I went to Chicago and three of my four grandparents were born in Chicago and they're all dead now. But as I was walking through the streets, I would see these old buildings that were like really old. And I thought, when my grandmother and my grandfather were little, they walked these streets and they saw those exact buildings. So I felt like I was walking in their shoes. And I just felt really connected. And so I want you to know that listening to the music from your guys' youth, it brings me back to your youth. It makes me think what it was like to grow up in like the 60s, the 50s, 60s, and 70s for like a lot of you guys. And then like even stuff in the 80s that like, your formative years and all that. It really brings me back. So that's why I really like doing this. It's not like it brings me into like a different space. Just like seeing those buildings in Chicago made me think about my grandmother and what it was like. So yeah, there it goes. I'm glad that I got through this, but as you can see, it was very emotional for me. And I think my parents are my biggest supporters of my channel. And so like even when I only had like 30 views of my videos, they were always watching them. And wherever they went, they would like play it on TV. It's like YouTube and every TV. They're like, this way you'll get more views on different TVs. And they would just play my channel nonstop. And they still do. But like I just want like I'm very thankful of it. And so then when I now have these videos that have like 10,000 views in like a day or something, or like 20,000, it's like I just never thought that would happen. So I'm very touched by that, but it's always my parents who always believed in me. And you only have so many people in this life that you can actually trust who are really there for you. And I will say that my parents have been there for me and they're still there for me. And I'm very thankful. And for them, like teaching me about music and um, my whole life, my parents have always played music and my dad's a pianist actually, like on the side of his real job. So he always played piano and I would sing with him. And that's where I learned about a lot of this music. And you guys know I know all the Beatles albums. It's because I was raised with them. So people are like, "How did you know this?" I'm like, "Man, I was raised with it. It's like my parents raised me on it." And they also encouraged me to study music in college, instead of like making me go into like medicine or engineering or something. They saw that I was talented and they paid for me to go to music school. So anyway, every time that I'm using my music degree like this, whether it's writing songs or teaching music or reacting to like the Moody blues, I'm just so thankful that they believed in me then and that they still believe in me now. And I just want to have a career where I can like live music every single day, which is what I do and what I've been doing. But this is even bigger because I can like connect with a bigger audience across the whole world. When I teach singing, I'm working with one person one on one, and I love it. But this is a way I can reach even more people. So I'll do both, but it's just really nice to connect with people. So this is probably the most emotional I've ever gotten in a video, but that's what nights in white satin will do to you. especially when you know the story behind it, that it was a lot of people's prom song. And I'm sure a lot of those people are like no longer alive. And so, we just have to live through the memories of the music and keep playing the best music. You know, just the last like side note is that sometimes I, cover the Grateful Dead or something, and I'm like singing, and someone goes, "Leave the singing to Jerry." And I'm like, no, that's not what they wanted. The composers did like Mozart wasn't like, I'm dead, so never play my music again. There wasn't even recordings back then. His music lives on through us, that's what they want. If you write a song, you want it to live on through the youth. Um, you don't want to, have it die. And just because we have recordings of Jerry Garcia doesn't mean that we should never sing those songs ourselves. It's stupid. If you write a song, you want it to live on through the future. Just like my grandmother is no longer alive, but she's living through me because she's a part of me? So that's the beauty of it. Like we're all of our ancestors. We are only existing because of their genetics and they're part of us. But music is for all of us. It's not just for Jerry Garcia to sing and then die. It's every time we sing one of his songs or one of these other songs, like the Moody Blues, whatever, we're like living. The artists, the art, and the music is living through us. So, yeah, if you made it to this part of the video, you're gonna definitely be crying. So, anyway, let me know what I should listen to next, and please leave a comment. And if you want to request, click on the link tree on my profile. If you want to send money, great. If you want to do a super, great. If you want to become a member, great. That all helps me with my vision of being a working musician, self-supporting myself, which I am. But I want to also be as successful as I can and also share music with the world. So thank you.